We welcome the night.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Horror Night Oasis, a radio show where we discuss all the latest movies and news from the world of horror. Currently waiting on Ian to join me, and I would have turned the intro music off earlier, but there is a problem with the switchboard. That's the reason I'm not being able to see Ian on the call list here. So, for the time being, until I can get Ian, there we go, there he is. Ian, you there?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
it was,
like I said,
I called in on the call-in number, and it told me to hold on for a minute.
Well,
weird.
We're here, and we got you through. Again, every now and then we have that little issue with the switchboard, and this is one of those times where I couldn't stop the music at a certain point, and you were unable to call at the right time. But yeah, we are here. Again, we're doing these shows bi-weekly, basically whenever we want to do them now. So every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So we're trying to do at least maybe 2 a month, just for those interested in wanting to know when we'll be live. You can always stay tuned to our, of course, our Facebook page, Instagram. We got everything going on now, as mentioned in our last episode. And as always, with our September month is usually our clown month, and so I decided we need to toss one clown film in there. It needs to be something we haven't discussed and something not readily available, even though it sort of is, because it is on Prime, and I did not know that after I tried to get Ian a way to view it, but because I did have the DVD, and the DVD is pretty hard to find, but it's on Prime. If for those wondering, you can watch this on Prime, apparently.
It's only $2 rent.
Yeah, $2 rental. How about that? And, I mean, I guess it's worth that for the first act. We'll get into it. Our film is Cannibal Killer Clowns on Dope from 2009. Don't be fooled saying it's 2020, because I saw somewhere that it was like a 2020 film. It's not. It's from 2009, so I want to set the record straight. And it is directed by Eugene Hughes. And Ian, we've discussed a lot of clown movies over the past couple of years since doing our Coulrgoria marathon, since we begun it and started. We've had some good, some horrendous. This, I want to say, is better than some of those, but it's in its own little category, and there's only one film that I'm able to compare it to, and we'll get into that. And we bring it up so much, but we have to with this one because it's almost night and day. Of course, when your film's not directed by an 8-year-old and by an adult, there's a little bit of difference. But let's get into Cannibal Killer Clowns on Dope, Ian, because, again, this movie, it started out, I thought it started out pretty damn good. I was entertained because it knew what it was. It was bad. It was camp. I don't even know if it really was on the camp side of things, but it just had that feel to it where it was just not serious. And just we watched Woodstock Holiday, our last episode, and it was so serious and so drab and so dull. This one, it was just like, fuck it, we're gonna go balls to the wall, have a little bit of fun. You know what you're in for, because they literally start the film out sort of brain damage style with the narrator, because there's a narration through this, through the entire film, and that's the way that he's doing is like, the clowns are coming and they're going to get their meals on because these clowns are on dope. And it's constantly like that through the narration. And it kind of reminded me of how brain damage films used to be in the, when the first, the DVDs and VHS came out. And Darren Ramage, who always did the intros, welcome gorehounds to the terror tunes, turn down the lights, turn up the volume. It just reminded me that, Darren Ramage from Brain Damage. So it's very reminiscent. Again, I don't know how many listening of really big Brain Damage film enthusiasts like myself, but that's all I ever watched back in high school. It's if it was Brain Damage, I watched it. I mean, I watched shit like Terror Tunes, Quilt Face, Carnage, The Legend of Quilt Face, and just so many, Hell's Highway, Dead 7. I mean, I got so many, Death Factory. Again, I can go on and on with all the Brain Damage films I own. But it's just it sort of had that vibe of that, that low-budget, independent, shot on video, even though this one's not really shot on video, but it could have been, vibe to it. And it's just, the first act is just really, just over-the-top fun, where the clowns, you get introduced to each individual clown for a little bit. They come up like a circus banner with the name on top and a little thing on the bottom. And there's Bobo, Momzo, or something like that. And just, again, variety, the names of the clowns. There's 5 or 6, maybe 4. I don't exactly know, because some of them start and then one of them dies at the beginning, because I have no idea. And they do this ritual. There's all this stuff that they do in this first act that's just out there, and the man, there's so much to talk about, but not enough to dive into. So there's this part of the forest, of the woods, where these murders are taking place in this town, and even on the news, we're getting reports of don't go to this area, or almost sort of like how Woodstock Holiday was. You don't need to go down that way, people are dying. But people are going to this part of the woods, and they're getting picked off by killer clowns on dope, and so they're cannibal killer clowns on dope. And so they go through there and they chase girls, they kill people, and then they sacrifice some of them and turn them into dolls. And so now you have the spirit of clowns and dolls. I don't know. It's not really brushed upon except for that one scene, and that's about it. So you don't really know much. And then you have the opening scene with the girl opening the phone and the ghost spirit with the meat cleaver, which I wrote which was a great line. Who's got the meat cleaver now, baby? just like going crazy on that. I love that intro though for that. It was fun. It was just stupid. Like I said, it's just like repeating the same lines over and over, but it's just it's stupidly fun for some reason. And so they just go through there. There's the photo shoot with the girl. The narrator comes on. She's doing this for money, and hopefully her dad doesn't see the photos. And so she's doing a full frontal nude spread on a tractor, and then the photographer is a creep who is fantasizing about her nakedness and masturbating, sort of touching himself. He's a creep, and he wants to get close-up shots, check the lighting, get right up there on the nipple of this girl, and then he's making all these noises, and then that attracts the clowns, and then the clowns start attacking them, and he gets stripped down, and he's wearing female underwear, and then he gets chased off, which causes the girl to laugh, that's sort of out of character, and then she starts running away full frontal, so you see everything bouncing, and she gets attacked and killed, and then the guy, the photographer, he gets taken, because that's another thing. I wanted to play this for the beginning, but I forgot it. The narrator says, "You will see gore, blood, nudity, a man get butt raped," and there's just all kinds of fun little stupid things that just make you smirk and smile. And it's dumb for idiots like us who find that stuff amusing. And so again, the first act of this movie, the first 40-45 minutes is really just campy clowns killing people and fun. And then we get introduced to another plot device out of nowhere. Is Zed, the loser who escapes from prison, and he wants to kill clowns because apparently something happened to him with a clown that caused him to it doesn't really matter. This is one of those films where nothing really matters. It's just stupid, and you don't take it seriously, and the story is technically non-existent because the first 45 minutes is just people in the woods get attacked by clowns and die. That's it. 45 minutes of that. And then you have the Zed storyline come in, and then it's him trying to get guns, cash, and dope because apparently he needs dope to fight off clowns. It's weird as shit. Okay. And then you get introduced to the girlfriend or another inmate, and then she escapes somehow. They don't even really show that. They're oh, she's out of the prison now? How'd that happen? Because it just doesn't add up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. And so she comes out, and then another friend comes out, and then the last act is just where I thought this film takes a hard slam into the wall and just loses its momentum, and it just drags, and not in the fun way. It's just
no.
I really did not care about Zed, and you were having so much fun with these clowns. I could have done with that for another, for the remainder of the film. Just people go to the woods to get killed by clowns. I mean, it was just so stupid and entertaining in that weird way. Where I was I'm totally on board for this for 90 minutes, and sadly it hit that wall with Zed escaping, and then it just really went downhill. And it's not the way this is filmed. It's avant-garde sort of art house, and that's the reason I'm going to compare it to 8-Ball Clown, is because 8-Ball Clown had that weird, just odd, way of storytelling, because this one's all over narration with the narrator, and there's hardly any spoken dialogue. There is some, but the talk over it with screaming or music or the clown saying something I'm going to get you, I'm going to eat your brains, I'm going to snort dope, stuff like that. And there's this story of a guy fucking a sheep, and I was I wanted to hear that story, of the guy fucking the sheep. And they don't even let you hear the part so we held her legs down, and then that's when I started to fuck the sheep. I'm I want to hear the rest of that fucking story. And he goes on, but then they cut the overlay music and narration over. Fuck this. That's not a good choice. And there's a lot of scenes like that where it's I guess story elements are or just random conversations are just overdubbed with narration from the narrator, and it just kind of, it didn't take me out, but I kind of, when it's necessary, I wanted to hear, like, the stupid stories. Like, that would have made the film a little bit better instead of, oh, and so this is the time when Zed came to the store to kill Mr. Richardson and get guns. And, like, I don't care, narrator. I want to hear the story about him fucking the sheep in the war or wherever it was, Nam. It's just like, damn it. Sometimes, you can go a little overboard with the way that you see the film played out, but it kind of ruined it for a little bit. But, Ian, I'll let you talk over it, and then I think we'll go back and forth on it.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Like, as soon as he got introduced, it was like, and we're done trying. Not literally, but, like, I could see where they were trying to go with the movie, but it's just, it was it got dull after a while. Like, honestly, I felt like they should have just made this into a short film, because then it would have just kept it would have been able to keep its momentum a little bit better, but I wasn't too impressed with the ending was just, I don't know, I felt like they did the beginning better than they did the ending, especially once they started getting all the guns, and then there's more rape and murder, and I was like, how can you get boring with murder? It's like, I don't know, kind of felt myself like just losing interest more and more, and I was just ready for the movie to be over with. No, I don't mean that necessarily, like, not saying like it was like a terrible movie. It's just long, and I was just ready for it to be done.
Yeah, it's just that middle section with Zed, and I know, like I said, you said it, you know what they were trying to do and try to do this whole thing, but I felt like they just didn't see it through completely, because like that just really made the film, like I said, stop at a very halt. Just like really, like, you were having so much fun with the clowns doing all their stuff, and then you introduce Zed, and then it just screeches to a halt with like, okay, I'm gonna go do this drug deal. I'm gonna kill the drug dealers. I'm gonna take their money. I'm gonna take their dope, and then, why do you need a dope in the first place? I have no fucking clue. And then we needed guns, so we're going to kill this person. Yeah, they take dope. And then, like, they introduce all these characters of the clowns, too, and you only get to see them for, like, a brief second. Like, the mom character, she's only in it, and you don't hear her voice. Like, she's in it, like, twice. And, like, you don't even hear her speak. Like, there's a scene where she's talking, but it's overdubbed, so whatever backstory they had for her is out the window. And then at the end, there's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre style scene with one of the severed heads of a girl on the dinner table where they're going to strike it open and eat it. And like, there's like scenes that are like really should be fun towards that last act, and it just, like I said, you really don't care about Zed. I mean, you're not supposed to, because he's a prisoner, a killer that escaped, but like, for a little second, they switch, they go, when the one friend gets taken away and she's getting raped in the rape bars, like, we need to save her, like, well, we can't, we don't know how many clowns there are, and then they have, like, this little scuttle, and he goes off his own way, and she goes off her other way, and then she gets taken hostage, and then it does the whole Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing, and then it cuts back to, like, oh, yeah, what happened to Zed? And then they explain that in, like, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of all over the place a little bit.
Hey, but, yeah.
I mean, I didn't think the acting was necessarily all that bad. I think it was just issues with the script. Like, but yeah, I did also, when going back what you said earlier, like with the first girl that was taking nudie photos taken of her, I was like, wait, is she laughing? What the hell? What? I was like, you got murderers like people running up with knives, and your first reaction is to laugh. I was like,
see, I thought that was like,
I get,
like she was part of it, like she was like another clown, but like going to the
I was
thing.
Honestly, I was like, this was the first thought I had too. I was like, is she with them? And then I found out she wasn't, and I was like, well, then why was she laughing? Like, that was a terrifying moment. I would have shit myself if I would have saw clowns running out of the woods with knives and guns and shit. I was like, they're here to kill me. I'm not going to laugh at that.
Yeah.
Movie logic.
Yeah. Hold on a second, Ian. Actually, we got a call. So hold on a second. Let's see who this is. Caller?
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your old pal, Buck Ross, with an exclusive Channel 4 News live report. I am right here now at the old farmhouse down off of Highway 6 in the bypass. The location where there's been a lot of clown activity and a lot of murders and dead bodies found. This old farmhouse, Mr. Parsley's Ranch, will now forever be known as the Clown House of Horrors, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Sheriff's investigators have found the remains of over 40 bodies. 40 bodies that have been killed by these salad-tossing, homicidal, cannibal killer clowns, ladies and gentlemen. Long gone are the days that a clown would want to make you a balloon and a mule and have you pull his finger for a laugh. They don't do that anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Nowadays, clowns, they man-rape you, toss your salad, hack you to bits, and then eat your ass. So if you see any clowns, you better hope you have little Susie with you and blow a fucking hole in their head. Kill all the clowns is all I got to say. This has been an exclusive update. Buck Ross, Channel 4 News, signing out.
Holy shit, Ian. We had Buck Ross call in. That's a fucking update. Holy hell, dude. They're still going at it. Holy fuck, man. Thank you, Buck. I appreciate that. Holy hell, man. That was exciting.
That was not... Yeah, it was funny, too, because right when that happened, I saw police lights outside my house. I got a little worried for a second.
Jesus. At least he's keeping everyone up to date on this shit, man. Holy hell.
I was...
Don't go
Hey.
I mean, Jesus. At least he's thinking of us, right? At least he's thinking of us. Hey, there's a heads up. I mean, don't go to old man Jenkins' farm or whatever farm it was. Jesus. 40 bodies, man. He's on the scene.
40 bodies.
Man, kill all those clowns, man.
Hey, I love clowns. I love clown, and I love clown movies. You know, and I did like the... I don't know. I don't even know how to go on from here. I was going to say how much I loved I actually really liked the clown costumes and everything. And now, just, I don't... I'm at a loss for words right now because I was not prepared for that. It brings me back to one of our very first shows when Babette Bombshell called in.
Man, that was something, man. It's been a while. But we appreciate it, Buck. We thank you for your goodness in your heart and making sure we're safe from those clowns. But
exactly.
Getting back to the movie, well, yeah, it's like it's very again, it started out good and then just goes downhill. I mean, there's no way to really sugarcoat it. I mean, it just really falls downhill. And like as you said, it's like the beginning act, like there's like dismemberment. There's, again, not that it's good, but there's rape and like male rape at that. The narration says you do, there's a male butt pumping and male rape or something. Like, yeah, you do get to see that. So they did not skip on that. And like at the same time, he gets his head chopped off. So it's like double whammy. It's even great. So like if he kept up with that tone and just like over the top stuff, having the people
doubt.
like turning them into into dolls and like transferring their souls to dolls, and then that maybe would have been okay for the beginning of the scene with the meat cleaver clown, because like she found like the balloon animal and like the doll, and then like the spirits like they transfer them into like clown people in this. I don't know exactly, but you're like there's like you could have had like more scenes with that, with just like random people being chased by a clown. And, like, I don't think it would have been boring. I don't think it would have been, like, as bad if
no
you
doubt.
did the whole Zed thing. Like,
it really had a strong opening.
If they took the Zed stuff and made it, like, maybe the last, 15 minutes or so instead of the whole fucking 40 minutes that it was, it would have worked a little better. Because, like, have him escape and then have, like, him getting the gun and getting the dope and all that, confine it down until like 10 or so minutes, like a couple minutes, the whole scene like maybe 15 or so, and that way the last act is the whole battle with Zed and the clowns, and not 45 minutes.
Yeah, and like, but I mean, it really did. Like I don't know if it. Because the whole lore and everything that was set up was great. Like I was like, oh, we're getting I was kind of hoping that we'd see the get also more doll action too. Because I mean, I love clowns and I love doll movies. So, but souls trapped in dolls, all that was just like great lore. Like, it was great building, and I was just like, okay, well, these doped addict clowns, or got some dark carnival ICP shit going on, and I love it. I am here for this. But I don't know, that last half kind of fell short, but I definitely would love to see what they do next, too. Like, what what other stuff they're going to...
I think the only thing they did, but I don't know. I can check.
Well, I mean, there's more bodies, so...
Yeah, there's definitely more bodies.
So, I mean, maybe we're going to see something else from it. Hopefully.
I mean, it was a long time ago, so I'm amazed we got Buck from that far along ago to call in. I mean, seriously. Like, Jesus. I
didn't do any... I didn't get a chance to even make a TikTok today. So,
yeah, so this is the only film that Eugene Hughes directed, so it's the only film of his. So, again, it just needed a little cleanup. And like I said, shorten the whole Zed stuff to the final act, because it could have built up to that, and then you could have like more people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like why is just that one clown in the city? Everyone else is like. They're all on the farm.
It's a city clown.
It's like you only have the one person in the city. Like, show the clowns going farther and farther. You have all the, like the news reports and everything like that, and you don't see that much with anything happening. And it's always on the farm. It's always there in the woods. And like, you could have just like the clowns are moving farther into the town, but they don't do that except for one time. And it's kind of just like, eh. And you don't even really get to see that much of, like, again, the whole Zed backstory is narration. And then, again, a lot of the stuff with the two accomplices of Zed, the two girls, like, those don't get any sort of, like, reasoning why they escaped. They just, like, oh, they're escaped now. Because, like, they're going into the into the store, like, wait a second, how did they get out? You know, because it made me question, like, when did they get out? It didn't even show them leaving. They're just out now. And so a little trimming up, actually, you know, like maybe just, you know, a little bit more clown backstory, you know, them, like, you know, again, more rituals, more killing, pillaging, whatever. It could have padded it out necessarily that is good for the film, and not make it just like brick wall, like 40 minutes in, and then you could have that Z act for the finale. And I thought it would be better that way. You know, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
The way it could have turned out instead of how it turned out. Like I said, this isn't going to be for everybody. I mean, for me and Ian, we've reviewed a lot of clown films, and I will gladly say this is better than 8 Ball Clown, even though it's like sort of the same style. But as I said, this film is directed by an adult, not an 8-year-old. So there's some semblance of plot and continuity, and it makes sort of sense, and you just know that it's just, you know, stupid for being stupid and just like things happening. Whereas 8 Ball, he couldn't make up his mind on anything, so he just did everything, and he didn't care. And I mean, I'll probably remember 8 Ball more because it's 8 Ball. And that is scarred on my retina. And
I mean, that was just like, I mean, there's just some movies that are just so bad that you can't forget them. And it's like, you know, I mean, this movie, I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, other than like, you know, like other than just some issues with the, you know, the storytelling a little bit, how it dropped off halfway, but like I liked, it wasn't a terrible movie.
No.
And sometimes I feel like when we review movies and we just tear into things, you know, it sometimes like there's movies that deserve it. Like we flat out say it was garbage. Like, I don't want to kind of get off of, you know, that we hate, like I hated this movie.
We can see what this film could have been. You know, that's the thing. Like,
exactly.
Again, every director, you know, they do it, and, you know, again, limitations, and we understand that. And, again, we're just two onlookers just looking, you know, at a car crash, like, well, if you'd done this differently, that wouldn't happen, you know. So it's just like, you know, look both ways. You know, we're just like two onlookers from, you know, way back looking at the situation, how we would handle things differently. And there's definitely, for what they were trying to do, it's not bad. But we see things in a different light, and if different circumstances were given to us, you know, we could go back and like, hey, listen, do this, you know, a different way, and it would make this part work better in the filmmaker, you know, in the storytelling aspect and the introduction of Zed and all that. Like, you could have so much there, and it would have made it sort of, I wouldn't say a hidden gem, but something stupid fun that you can watch on an afternoon. Like, it's not too bad, you know, that's fun. You know, it didn't hurt your brain or anything like 8 Ball. But again, you just look at things differently, and again, we go look back on it. We're reviewing it. We're, you know, it's again, this is something not for the average horror fan. This is someone, like, if I just started, you know, if we reviewed this on the first couple episodes, Ian, you wouldn't know what you were fucking watching. You wouldn't know what to do. But now that you have all the years and the experience and 8 Ball, and then like, you know what's differently. You know, you know exactly where it's at and what it needs to be done, because again, you were that average fan until I brought you under my wing, and now you're this, I wouldn't say hardened, but you know the genre more and understand different aspects of it,
and
where you can see this in a different light as a casual viewer would. Because again, there's a lot of flaws with this film. I mean, it's in spades, and the way that it's filmed and the style is not going to be for everyone, because it's that like quick cuts, a lot of narration, a lot of screaming, a lot of going back and forth, repeating scenes over and over, of like a head being poured blood on.
And we've seen it done so much worse. And,
yeah.
you know, like, that's one of the things I love about doing this show is that, you know, like you said, when I started doing the show, I hadn't even watched, like, half of the classics because, like, I literally had no friends that were into horror movies, and I grew up without internet, so I didn't have access to them. And it's mind, you know, thinking when it gets brought up, you know, thinking about where I started and where we're now. And, you know, I appreciate every movie I watch. And this is one of those movies, it's like, you know, yeah, I might be ragging on it a little bit, but, like, I'm just trying to be open and honest. And I really am not trying to come off as, you know, like, dragging on it too much. But, you know, things got to be said, honest opinions, hurt feelings, blah, blah, blah. But, like, if we hated the movie, we would definitely say we hated the movie.
Yeah, I mean, we would have definitely went like Clown Doll on it, or, you know, of course, 8 Ball is a prime review of us just fucking dogging shit, but my God. But, yeah, I mean, it's like, again, I do think this is better than some of the ones that we watched, again, like I mentioned, like Clown, the Asylum film from last year that we reviewed, and then,
I forgot about
of course,
that
Clown Doll was not very good, and, you know, 8 Ball and everything like that. So, again, this one I think is a little above those, even though, again, those are sort of higher budgeted films. Even though this one feels like, again, it's right there in 8 Ball, but it's competently made 8 Ball.
Yes. I mean, 8 Ball, what it had going for him was an 8-year-old with a parents that didn't want to say no.
Yeah. Yeah, like an 8-year-old with a dream of making a film about a heroin-addicted clown. So that's, Jesus Christ.
I worry about that child when he gets older.
I'd love to know what he's up to now. I want to know what he's up to now. I mean, seriously.
I do too.
It'd just be fun. It's just like, I want to hear like a commentary from, you know, he's like probably like 15, 16, I don't know, 14, 15 now. I have no idea. I just want to know. I want him on this show because I want to dig into his brain.
Yeah, right.
That's no interview.
Doubt.
Like,
just
one film that
watch
deserves
our
like a special edition
review.
is 8 Ball. I would buy that in a heartbeat with the audio commentary and the interviews just to know. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll have the parents on there like, well, he had this idea. You know, he loves clown movies. And, you know, we want to help him, and, like, his dream was to make a clown movie. He loved Pennywise. He likes it, and he likes all these other clown movies. And we thought,
he made sure that we showed.
We'll get his uncle, you know, my brother, to be the clown. You know, he's pretty good. He kind of has the beard and everything, and he was sort of. You know, he was stage actor in one of the plays in town, so we thought he had some good acting chops, and he fit perfectly for what we were trying to achieve. He had the little look, and he had the voice down, and so it was worthwhile to do that. So everything fell into place, and the only thing we needed to do was just write out the script, and so you know, whatever the kid's name was. So he wrote it, and he started reading it to me, and I was like, you know what, son? You have yourself a damn fine movie, and you're going to make this, and we're going to sell it to people, and we're going to make a lot of money. And that's what we did. And now people have to, unfortunately, sit there and watch this thing, and we are laughing to the bank because we made a film called 8 Ball Clown, and it's just a fucking sight for sore eyes. So we appreciate your money.
I mean,
you sorry son of a bitch.
And there's just so many, you know, like, this movie, I didn't feel like there was a whole lot of, because. I did it because, except for those girls escaping. Like, I was like, why'd you escape? Because we wanted to. Like, but, I mean, other than that, like, there wasn't that many, like, okay, I don't understand why, so I'm just going to say they're doing it just because.
Yeah.
Well, at least they
he
have,
can
like,
teleport now. He can teleport. He's able to magically call a phone that he's in the house with. He's magically to do this. He can do this. He can transport from the car to the house, back to the car in, like, no time. And then he's at his house and he wants to perform an abortion on a lady and have a crack baby. I'm like, what the fuck? Just because. Jesus, man. Eight Ball just does that to us. I mean, we're going to talk about a clown movie.
Line was...
We're going to have to talk about 8 Ball, so I apologize for those not knowing what we're talking about. But listen to our 8 Ball clown review, and you'll know exactly. And then maybe you'll have
just watch it.
Really? And, I mean, I guess I'm not going to stop anybody from watching anything.
I mean, like I don't think our reviews actually do that.
I mean, I hate that we had to go off a tangent off Killer Clowns on Dope.
Again.
But I feel like we talked enough on that one, and now we just have to because that's like like I said, it's the yin and yang of clowns on heroin dope movies, because there's only like 2.
Exactly.
We've seen them both, so we have to talk about it.
Well, I mean, like, see, and this is, what I was thinking too, like, I was comparing it to 8 Ball, like, and the first thought I had was when they were talking about it, I was like, at least they're telling us what these clowns are capable of before we just, like, no explanation, nothing. Like, it's just boop, boop, I can just do this magically now, but then I'm not going to do it ever again. It's like it was just a one-and-done thing. Like, the teleportation. It's like, okay, well, because there was situations 8 Ball got into that he could have used a teleporter, but he only did it once. And I was just like, and this movie actually, did that stuff right. Was like, well, so we have their backstory. They did the lore, the backstory, everything, like, right then and there. And I think it's super nice when, it's not like, I don't feel like it was completely spoon-fed to us, but knowing what we're dealing with up front, so it's none of that just, oh, that's weird. Like, and just like, okay, well, that was that kind of moments. It's just, it actually made sense, and nothing was too out there, like, from outside of the lore.
Yeah.
I just wish we would have
that one little tiny issue with it, and I think we're perfectly okay with it. Like, if they'd done that differently, it would have been a better film. But for what it is, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. I didn't hate it. I was on board with it. I just wish that it didn't hit the wall.
Oh, we're about to get kicked off.
Yeah, but I just want to say, I mean, it's on Amazon Prime if you're interested in it. Like I said, it's not for the average viewer, because you're not going to understand it, and you're not going to have, like, the references that me and Ian has. So it's, and just like the way that it's filmed, it's not going to be for everyone. But if you want something a little weird, it's there. But Ian, as always, it's great talking to you. I want to thank Buck for calling in. That was a fun surprise.
That was amazing.
Keeping us informed.
Don't
keeping us
ever
informed
expect
on
people
the
to call
clowns. Yeah, and so we will be back with another episode of Horror Night Oasis in due time, and what that show will be, we don't know until the week of. But as always, we thank you for listening, and we will see you on the next episode of Horror Night Oasis.
Good night.
The dirt, I'm shoving up, cool, I think to see, I'm moving up, fast, mobile me, I'm heading up, proud, head in the clouds, yeah, mountain dew.